And I've seen a lot of cops, I've seen a lot of lawyers pull out all the stops. I've seen a lot of children with their parents in their hands. I've felt a lot of women who refuse to understand. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. You see it in the papers, you read it every day. The riots and the fires going on in South LA. The muggers and the government, they're all wanting the same thing. They take you for your money and whatever else bring. Well, I don't think I understand why we're making such a fuss. And I don't think I understand what's come of all of us. And I don't think I understand why we take this world for granted. I just want to get right back to Guitar Players Planet. Take me. Guitar Players Planet. 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 What you thought was Sunny skies, the smell of palm tree air. Looking back, I could never feel fair. The way that music has touched my soul, the way that the South holds its control. But I've got a new way to choose. I'm gonna start running back to the lands of new. Oh, na 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 na. Where did my color go? Got your head in the sand. You can't be in control, using a powerful hand. I wanna be ya, I wanna see ya. Don't taste the kisses of hate. Don't try to tell me, don't try to tell me, don't try to say it's too late. You're gonna push me to the edge, back me in a corner, making me stand in your shoes. Push me to the edge, hide a little color, it's black and white and blue. Black and white and blue, yeah. All right. Cat learns to ring a bell. Rat gets free from the maze.
Okay, Reed, just to let you know, leave the dining room light off.
There we go. We got there you go. Good evening, everybody. How's it going? What's happening? Let's see. Do I hear Eric? I don't know if I hear Eric yet.
Can you hear me?
No. Yep, got you. Rumen, do we have audio? Yep. I got Rumen.
Yeah, I can hear
you. Jesse, Pete.
I am here.
Jesse.
Awesome. Great. We're all here.
All right.
Did Scott come back? Scott did not come back yet, so I'll put him on when he gets back on his couch. So, good evening, everybody. We are back again for another episode of AstroWorld. It's called Beginners Q&A, but right now we got a special guest. We got Rumen, who's a co-creator of INDIGO, and he's going to be giving us a little rundown on INDIGO, because honestly, it's something that I know very little about. And I thought it would be a great idea. Actually, Pete thought it would be a great idea to have Rumen on and kind of give us a rundown on what it's all about, what it can do, and what platforms it works on, and all that. So I think this is a good idea to kind of broaden our horizons to see what else is out there. But before we do that, we gotta say thank you to our sponsors that we have, and I'll just of course I didn't share my screen right away. Rumen shared his screen, I didn't share mine. So
I'm prepared, that's why.
I was too busy doing stuff. So let's see, share screen, and there we go. And all right. There we go. So our first sponsor, thank you to Woodland Hills Camera and Telescopes at our main sequence level. They are, if you need anything from telescopes to cameras to anything, go check them out. They got some great stuff going on there. Then at our next level, we actually had, and this may be a surprise to some people on the show, we had a good week as far as sponsors are concerned. Once people started seeing that we were accepting sponsorships, people started calling me. So the first person that called me was Pete Proul from Masters of PixInsight, and he is going to be giving away memberships, yearly memberships to IP for AP. He's going to be giving away discounts for the Masters of PixInsight workshops, a whole bunch of stuff. So, and we're going to start all these giveaways starting in March. So it's going to be awesome. And if you want to be involved in March, go to the website. The website is up. In order for you to be eligible for any of our giveaways, please subscribe to our newsletter so I can grab your email to put you on the spinning wheel. So that's going to be really, really important. So once you subscribe to the newsletter, I'll grab your email. I'll put you on the spinning wheel, and you'll be there. You'll never have to do anything again, but you'll be eligible for all of the giveaways that we have moving forward. We also have Prima Luce Lab. who's got a really crazy, I can't say anything, but he's got a really crazy giveaway coming probably in June, July. So look out for that. That is going to be a really awesome, awesome giveaway. And of course, Camera Concepts and Telescope Solutions. They have been instrumental in the in-store stuff and advertising and a whole bunch of other stuff. So thank you to all of our sponsors. We couldn't do it without you. Now, we do have, obviously, tonight, we have Rumen from INDIGO. Coming up next, we have Roland Archer from Voyager Acquisition Software on March 9th. So come and check that out. Then 18th, we got Hendrik. I'm gonna butcher his name. Benjamin at this first Star Aid. Really cool item. It's basically a standalone auto guider package. It's really, really cool. Then we're gonna have Bob Denny, who's gonna give us some down of Alpaca. And on the 13th, we have Charles Bracken, author of Deep Sky Imaging Planner, amongst many, many, many others. And also when you go to the website, the calendar should be up tonight. So we'll be all on the calendar. So you'll be able to kind of check out and see what's going on and what we have planned for AstroWorld. You won't have to wait for the webcast. And of course, if you don't like YouTube, feel free to join us on our other social media platforms, Discord, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and all of that. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We actually have 18 members on right now, and we're good to go. So that being said, let me hide this. That wasn't bad. What did I say 7 minutes? I said 7 minutes, right? I'm trying to cut this thing down. It's usually like 10. So
you did good, bud. You did good.
Hey, I'm trying to cut it down, but I'm trying to make it nicer. You know, I did a little rushed one last time. So, but it's got years of practice, I guess. So Rumen, thank you so much for hanging out until 3:07 a.m. right now, your time.
Thank you for having me.
No, we appreciate you staying up. And I'll tell you the same thing I told your buddy Evo from APT.
Yeah, he's my friend.
Yeah, I know he is. And I told him the same thing. If you ever want to do this again and you want to do a recorded show on a normal time of day that we can kind of negotiate, I'm okay with that too. If you want to do that for the next one, that's fine.
Okay.
If you want to stay up till 3 o'clock in the morning, up to you. But just so you know that option's open.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I stay up to 3 o'clock very often because I'm working on INDIGO in my spare time. So usually at this time I'm going to bed after doing some stuff for INDIGO. So
oh my goodness,
nothing really unusual.
That's what I call dedication. I call that dedication.
Yeah, and it's a labor of love.
I would say passion.
There you go.
Yeah, if something can keep you up till 5 in the morning working on it, I used to do that with video games, but other than that,
yeah, you know, guys, we recently released polar alignment, and it was kind of tough to figure it out because I couldn't find anything on the web on the math, so I had to figure out all the maths and things like that. So it didn't work for something like 2 months, and with a friend of mine, we were spending. He has a nice view from his balcony on his condo, and he was trying with the telescope, and I was just changing some things on INDIGO, and I was pushing the changes. He was building them, and he was trying them right away, and this is the way we managed to figure it out. So.
Hey,
was that your most challenging piece so far? Has that been? How challenging was that on a scale of 1 to 10? 10 being the most challenging for you.
Well, on INDIGO, this was the most challenging project. Actually,
okay.
That I have. Actually, the polar alignment. Everything else kind of worked a little bit easier because the first time I started with another approach. But I figured out that the mount coordinates and the mount readings were not accurate enough, and you don't get a good polar alignment. So I changed the method to use only the solved images and things like that. So it was more or less trial and error.
Sure.
But we figured it out. So.
There you go.
Yeah, I remember you and I were talking. I guess the day after it came out. And you know,
yeah, I was very proud of it.
You should be. You should be. I mean, I couldn't do what you guys do. I no way. No. And me and Eric are like the I guess the tech guys of the group.
Yeah,
And
we're the IT guys, and we wouldn't be able to figure that out.
yeah, but we're not programmers. We're
not
hardware.
I'll tell you a secret. Evil from APT is going to use the same mods, the same library that I created for this. So I told him everything. I told him everything. So expect the same logic and the same methodology in APT. So
that's awesome.
Nice.
It's kind of a partnership. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, we kind of. I mean, APT supports Indigo anyway, so
there you go. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. People are talking about the Eagle 5 already. So the guys in the chat are funny. They just talk about whatever they want to talk about. So, and most of the times they'll come across with questions. But we got people talking about the new Prima Luce Eagle, which isn't even close to coming out yet. So but anyway, moving on. So Rumen, tell us a little bit about on for the people that have completely no idea. I know a little bit, but I mean people that have no idea. Tell everybody what Indigo does, what platforms it works on, and all that.
Okay. I have a little presentation for you.
Sure.
Could you put it on the screen?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So let's see. There we go.
Okay.
And nobody cares about our faces, so I'm going to give you the big screen. So
okay.
There we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Yeah. So Indigo framework, and this image actually was done by Stoyan Glushkov. He is a friend of mine, the guy who tested the polar alignment from his balcony, and he did this with Indigo. This nice image. So
that's beautiful.
I'm going to tell a couple of words about Indigo framework. First, the architecture of Indigo. This is a bit technical, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time here. But basically, Indigo has several layers. The first layer is the network layer, which connects to the local area network and to the internet and stuff like this. And it provides the network connectivity. The next layer are protocol adapters. Actually, Indigo works natively with XML and JSON and HTTP. Those are the native things that Indigo supports. And we made it support Alpaca, which is the ASCOM network protocol, and LX200 for some reason, because many programs that support mounts like Sky Safari and similar, they use LX200 protocol, and we expose this protocol to make those programs able to control Indigo devices. So the next layer are so-called agents. Agents are something like drivers. You can imagine them like a device driver, something that works in the Indigo framework, but they contain the business logic for many things. So like Alpaca agent is translating the Alpaca requests from here, translating them to native Indigo and sending them to the correct drivers. For example, if you connect your CCD camera via Alpaca, you will get through this path: Alpaca adapter, Alpaca agent. It will see that it's a CCD camera, and it will send the commands to the CCD driver, and the CCD driver itself will send the commands to the CCD camera itself and get the results back the same way. The same happens with the native Indigo, but on top of that, we have a mount agent which supports the mounts and the communication between some hardware related to mounts, like GPSs, like plate solver, like other stuff that are related to mounts. And we have Imager agent, which supports sequencing, which supports batch image acquisition, and all the things that you need for imaging. And those agents, actually, they connect to the drivers themselves, and they organize, they like orchestrate the whole thing to work as a whole system. So Indigo, as it comes from the box, can be accessed by indie framework like K-Stars and similar stuff. It can be accessed by Alpaca and natively from the Indigo framework clients that we develop ourselves, and there are some third party also. So this is basically the architecture of Indigo, and here you can see the supported platforms. Indigo as a server and the client as a whole unit is supported on Linux, on Intel and ARM being Raspberry Pi and Intel usual machines. On Apple, you can run them on Mac OS, on Intel and on M1, also natively. And Windows is the client only. You can run only the Indigo client on Windows, so you cannot run the drivers on Linux on Windows, unfortunately.
Okay.
So Indigo has a lot of device classes like mount, CCD camera, guider, focuser, filter wheel, dome, GPS, adaptive optics, field rotator, and some additional stuff like joystick to control your mount, shutter to open and close external shutter. Some CCD cameras don't have shutters, and for some reason you may have shutters. So this is it. Power boxes like controlling the power, sky quality meters, dust cap, light boxes, weather stations, and GPIO. GPIO is something like a power box, but it's for controlling some devices like turn the lights off, turn the lights on,
Okay.
or just enabling and disabling some stuff. And this is it. So we have drivers for all these types of equipment, and those are the things that communicate on a low level. They are pretty dumb. They don't have a lot of logic in them. They just know how to translate Indigo commands to the commands that are related to the specific hardware that you're running under. And Indigo agents. So I told you that Indigo agents are are the drivers that contain the logic of the whole thing. So agents are high-level drivers that provide application business logic. They communicate between each other, and for example, the mount can get the solved coordinates from the solver agent, and to sync to precisely center the object. Uh, Agents can access the device drivers, and as I said, drivers are simple, capable only of basic operation, and the inter-driver communication is possible through the agents. Agents themselves allow the drivers to communicate between each other. So we have several Indigo agents. One is imager agent that is responsible for sequencing, for image acquisition, and for everything that you make the nice pictures. You get the pictures actually out of the imager agent. You have a guider agent which can provide you guiding capabilities in Indigo. There are several methods for guiding: multi-star, single star, and donuts, which uses the whole frame for calculating the drift. Mount agent is the agent that controls the mount and talks with imager agent. It talks with solver agent and organizes the mount operation. And something that is really unique, it's the scripting agent. You can actually write your own scripts, and some parts of Indigo are already implementing this way. For example, the Meridian Flip is a script provided by one of our users. He just decided to write a script for Meridian Flip. So in this script agent, you can load as many scripts as you want, and you can trigger them at any event. For example, if you say if you get to the Meridian, do Meridian Flip. So it will kick the script that does this and will flip the meridian. Astrometry and ASTAP agents, those are the two agents that are solver agents. They provide the solving of the acquired images. Auxiliary agent can talk to the auxiliary devices that I mentioned earlier, like power boxes, like weather stations and things like that. Alpaca agent, I already mentioned it. It provides the Alpaca connectivity. Snoop agent is already obsolete because it was the initial idea how to communicate between the drivers, but as soon as we had all these agents, this one became obsolete. It's still there, it can be used, but we don't use it anymore natively. So, and LX200 is the meet protocol that we provided by an agent, but recently we moved this to the mount agent, so we don't need this agent anymore. So this is how we provide connectivity from applications that support this protocol but don't support INDIGO native. Okay, so this is for the agents. INDIGO drivers, there are three types of INDIGO drivers. Sorry to be so technical, but I think this is important to get the feeling, to get a feeling how different we are from the others. The first type of drivers are dynamic drivers. These drivers have really fast communication, and those drivers are actually that makes the difference between INDIGO and INDI and ASCOM, because the communication is really fast because they're loaded into the server or into the application themselves, and they can be loaded and unloaded dynamically. Static drivers have the same probabilities, but they cannot be unloaded and loaded. They can be enabled or disabled, but they cannot be changed. For example, if you want to change the driver, you have to change the whole application because this is statically linked in a single executable. This is good if you want to provide. Monolithic application, one executable for everything. And executable drivers, this exists solely because we maintain some sort of compatibility, still maintain compatibility with INDI, and this is the only way the INDI can communicate with its drivers. Unfortunately, this is very slow. But we are still supporting it. So INDIGO has something called INDIGO server, which provides network access to the devices. It provides access control to the devices. Actually, this is a feature. Access control is a feature requested by Color Alto Observatory guys. They did some project with INDIGO on one of their telescopes, and they wanted to be able to give access to some users to some devices and to other users to other devices. So we had to implement such thing like access control in INDIGO. This is not something that you have in Alpaca or something that you have in INDI so far. So it can connect to another server. Actually, the servers can be connected to each other and can export the devices they have. So it's a kind of software bus. You can imagine it as a bus, and all the servers can communicate with each other and can provide the same devices and can be daisy chain or whatever you want to do with them. So this provides a lot of flexibility because, for example, if you're using those Raspberry Pis, you want to guide from one Raspberry Pi, and then you want to take your images from the second Raspberry Pi, and for example, you need a third one to monitor the weather and things like that. So this is something that is really advanced. And the other feature of the INDIGO server is that it provides Bonjour service discovery, MDNS or Bonjour, whatever you like to call it, which basically means that you don't have to type the address of the server on your clients. You just fire up your client, and it will discover all the devices that are exported by all the INDIGO servers, and it will show them to you. So you don't have to type the address. You don't even have to know the address of your INDIGO server. INDIGO server also loads and unloads the drivers on which ones you need, and it can handle all this stuff. and it can operate fully headless. For example, you can connect your client, you can instruct Indigo, you can load your sequence, you can load you can start the guiding, you can load your sequence and things like that, and you can disconnect from it. And it will do everything on its own, and it will collect the data. And once you connect again, it will download the data on your site. So this is another unique feature that I don't think any other software has. Indigo also, to connect to the Indigo server, you have Indigo clients, and they connect to the Indigo server and can control remote devices like Indy and like Alpaca. Clients can load drivers themselves. This is something, another unique feature of Indigo. You can just load the drivers like ASCOM does on your computer. This is only one host. I mean, you cannot share this thing over the network, but you can load the drivers by the Indigo client, and you can operate locally. It is much faster because you skip the network overhead. But it's the fastest way to use Indigo. And on top of that, you can export your devices that are connected to your client to the network and to act like Indigo server. And also, Indigo clients can detect Indy servers and can automatically switch to the legacy communication mode to Indy. So Indigo clients can connect to Indy servers. Why Indigo if Indy, Alpaca, and ASCOM are here? Well, the first thing is that ASCOM is Windows only and Indigo is multi-platform, as I said before. Indigo is all about the speed. We optimized it in every single way. Even the frame transfer and everything over the network is in orders of magnitudes faster compared to Alpaca and Indy. This is something that we invested a lot of time. We figured out new ways of doing this, and we are way faster. It's faster because we use so-called shared memory for communication on a single host. If you run, for example, the drivers and the client on the same host, they use shared memory. They don't use all this network stuff, and this is the fastest way. And for example, Indy uses pipes, and pipes are something like 10 times slower than the memory access, even slower. I don't know. ASCOM on its own makes multiple copies of the data, so it's not really effective also. So we eliminated all this stuff. And over the network, Indigo uses binary data transfer, and it can be compressed with different compressing algorithms, which makes it a lot faster to transfer over the network, because other protocols like Indy and Alpaca, they use text encoded images. You encode the image in ASCII, I mean, to be human readable to some extent, and they send this over the network, which is not really effective. So in the worst case, you get something like 30%. In the best case, you get something like 30% more data to send over the network. But with with our compression, you can get down to something like 5 times less data. So it's a lot faster. And Indigo has agents, as I said, and they do all the business logic on the server. So the clients are not really intelligent. They just get the Indigo data and they process it in some way just to visualize it or to save it on the hard drive, and nothing more than that. Indigo provides service discovery, unlike any other. I mean, not unlike any other. Alpaca has some sort of service discovery, but unlike Indy. And Indigo supports hot plug for USB devices. So when you plug your camera, it's automatically visible. You unplug it, nothing will happen, just your camera will disconnect. And if you're in the middle of exposure, sorry, you lose it. But it will happen anytime. But it will not crash. It will just say this device is disconnected, and it will not show you on your screen anymore. So this is something really nice because for example, with Indie, you have to connect all the devices beforehand and then start the Indie server, which is not the case here. Indigo can work without server like ASCOM and with server like Indian Alpaca. As I mentioned, you can load your drivers in your client, and then you don't need to have Indigo server. You just connect to your devices through the drivers, and that's all. And one of the best features of Indigo is it is free, it's open source. So you can get the source code, you can study it, you can change it, you can do whatever you want with it. And it's released under a very permissive, vendor-friendly license, which is called Indigo license, which basically allows you to do everything with the code. Just have to give the credit to the project, and that's all. And I'll share a little secret here. We have something called Indigo Sky. Well, this is not a secret. This is available, but there is a major player in the business, in the astronomy business, who is doing a device which will run Raspberry Pi with some nice features, but I'm not going to reveal more of that because they didn't allow me. So when it's on the market, you'll know. I actually created one driver for them, and probably I'll need to create some other drivers to support all the hardware they are providing. But this is something for the future.
Okay.
And now I want to show you what the clients on Mac look like. I'm not going to demonstrate them live, but I'm just going to show you some screenshots and a little explanation. Actually, this is the Astro Imager application. Actually, Indigo is supported as a framework by me and Peter, and we have a lot of contributors. But basically, it's me and Peter who are working on the framework, and the applications, the macOS applications, are created by Peter, and I'm creating the Windows and Linux applications. So these are the Mac applications. So this is the Astro Imager. This is how it looks like. And you can solve images, you can do, pretty much everything that you can do. Here's the Astro Imager sequencers. Here you can edit your sequence. For example, you can, I'm not sure how good you can see, but you can see you have to do focus with 5-second exposure, then do 300-second exposures, 30 frames with this resolution in H alpha filter, in hydrogen alpha filter, then 5 exposures with 120 seconds, 10 exposures with a lower resolution with O2 filter and things like that. So you can arrange all these things here. You can create your own sequence. You can hit start, close the client, and go to bed. And in the morning you connect and you'll get all the data on your computer.
Gotcha.
Nice.
Yeah, so this was the sequencer. Here you can see the Indigo dashboard. Actually, Indigo works with so-called properties. Every device, when it connects to Indigo, it announces what it can do.
Okay.
And this way, the clients know what commands can be sent to this device, and what data can be received from this device. And this is some sort of, the dashboard is some sort of a low-level configuration tool for it. It's not used. It's used probably on a daily basis just to check some advanced settings, but it's not something that you use for everyday use. And this is the scripting this is the scripting editor. You can edit your scripts here, and you can upload them to the Indigo server, and your server will be triggered whenever you want. For example, this is the Meridian Flip script, I think. Yeah, this is the Meridian Flip script here open. So with this script, you can just say you can just load it, and it will flip your mount, your Meridian when it's needed. And something that is not released yet, it's all in one, because the applications on Mac OS are kind of separate applications: guider, imager, telescope control. And Peter is doing another product called INDIGO A1, which is going to be released soon, which can do everything in a single application. You don't have to download separate applications for that. And Linux and Windows applications, I'll do the demo for that. These are just screenshots for them, but we are not going to pay too much attention to that. Also, INDIGO is supported by third-party apps. For example, Pixie Insight replaced Indy recently with INDIGO. So they have a plugin there, which and you can acquire images from INDIGO using Pixie Insight. APT, as I mentioned, he's a friend of mine, and he was very keen on implementing INDIGO support in his application. Mount Wizard 4, this is an application for controlling and for fine-tuning some mounts, which supports natively INDIGO. CCDCL, PH2, and ECOS can connect, but they all work in the legacy mode with this slow file transfer. And also all the applications that are Alpaca capable can use INDIGO also. Okay, so what can INDIGO control? Actually, it can control from some small telescopes to the largest one that I know that is used on is the 2-meter telescope in our national observatory. Actually, I did my PhD on this telescope.
Oh, nice.
So it can be run from INDIGO.
Okay.
And this was my presentation. So now I can show you how everything works. If you have any questions or anything.
Yeah, sure.
I have one question. Is you talk about people, you can create scripts, and you demonstrated the Meridian Flip script. Are there other types of what other types of scripts have you seen being created, for INDIGO that may be those more kind of common that do those more common type of jobs, like a Meridian Flip?
Actually, people do some things like if the weather is going worse, I mean, if there's cloud coverage, close the dome. Or if the rain goes, close the dome, and if it goes away, open it again. If for example the cloud coverage is over 80%, close the dome, and things like that. But those are really custom scripts. You cannot write. I mean, you can write them more in more universal way, but people usually do it for their specific equipment. So. They're not really useful for some other stuff.
Gotcha.
But this is the thing that you can use, for example, the scripts, for example, also you can write a script to do your sequence if you want to.
Okay.
So just to follow up on what Eric is saying, then, is that these would be basically canned universal scripts that you could customize if you wanted to, specific for your application.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great.
And if you're experienced enough, you can write your own scripts, and you can hook them on some event. I mean, you can hook the script to, for example, let's say rain's going on. The moment the rain is going on, your script is going to kick in and to do whatever you specify in there. So, for example, you can set the property. I mean, INDIGO works like you're setting properties and you're reading properties. For example, if you set the property exposure to 5 seconds, the camera that belongs to, the property that belongs to a property that belongs to a specific camera, this camera will trigger an exposure with 5 seconds.
Gotcha.
And then it will return the data in another property called CCD image, and in this image you'll have your image data. So this is how the scripts work. You can write, for example, if some property like rain detection property is on, this script will be fired, and then you say DOM close, and the DOM will close.
Gotcha. So you're basically building out quite a few workflows. It's very workflow like.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want with this. I mean, it's up to you. It's a programming language actually. This is JavaScript language.
JavaScript. Okay.
Yeah, so you can program Indigo in JavaScript basically.
Okay.
Very good.
Nice.
Right.
Yeah. So
let's take a look.
Okay. Any other questions, or I can proceed with the demonstration of how everything works on Linux, for example. But absolutely this.
Yeah, everybody's real interested on how it actually looks and how it works.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, my only other question is you are you going to be working? Because I didn't see anything as far as focus type drivers. Will you be working on for autofocus?
We have that. We have that.
Do?
We have even. Yeah, I'll demonstrate it with a Linux application.
Okay, cool.
Okay,
nice.
So let me just switch to this. I don't need this presentation here anymore. Okay. So we have several applications. One of the applications is called, I started it twice, called INDIGO Control Panel. Here you can see all the devices that I have connected to my INDIGO Sky device, which is on the network. And here you can select which servers you want to use. For example, if I click this one, you see I get the Vega server connected, and it exposed the devices that are connected to Vega server. So I can use, for example, Vega server, which is locally connected, or Indigo Sky, which is over the network. So let's do it like, let's show you the Indigo Sky, what Indigo Sky can do. So I'm closing this one. And here you have astrometry agent, you have CCD file simulator and stuff like this. And you can configure, this is how it works. So here are the indexes for the plate solving. Every plate solver works with indexes. So here are the indexes for the astrometric plate solver. I have enabled only these indexes because I don't need to load my disk with the things that I'm not going to use. For example, 22 to 30 minutes. I mean, I'm not going to show. I don't have a telescope. I mean, I'm going to use it with the simulator, and the simulator works with these indexes, and it's fine.
Gotcha.
Got it.
So by clicking on this, it will download the indexes from the network. And once they are downloaded, you can enable them and disable them here in the solver, for example. Yes, these are the indexes that I have downloaded, and these are the indexes that are selected. And in this property, for example, VCS solution, you'll get the solution from the solved image. And for example, here you'll have polar alignment state. You'll have the state of the polar alignment error and all the data that you need for the polar alignment to complete your polar alignment. I'm going to show you this a little bit later. But this is not for everyday use. This is everything that Indigo offers.
Okay.
And here in Indigo Sky, this is the server at Indigo Sky. Here are all the available drivers, and when you click on the driver, it loads the driver. When you unclick it, it unloads the driver. For example, we have the driver for ASIC cameras. I'm unloading the driver. There you go, and then I'm loading it again. And for example, I can show you. I can just plug my camera, plug my one of the cameras here, and let's see what happens. I'm plugging the camera. And there you go. Here's the camera here. And when I unplug it, it's gone.
Okay.
So this is the hot plug capabilities that I was talking about.
Okay.
So this is actually the configuration tool. This is used only for configuration, which drivers you want to load. If there's a newer version, you will see it here. We show 3 versions here, and actually, this is a development version. The last official is 168, and this is the development version. Yeah.
Just a quick question then. Can you save these then as individual profiles?
Yes, you have. You can save all these things to as individual profiles. For example, let's say file simulator. You have load, save, and things like that, and you have five different profiles.
Okay.
You can save them to one of these profiles.
Can you custom name these profiles from other than just 1 to 5?
I'm not sure. I think you cannot.
Okay. So
You just
let me ask you,
It can be easily done.
Yeah, you just
It
have to
can be
remember
easily
which
done.
profile is your numerical value then.
Yes, unfortunately, I don't remember. Probably there is, but file no, there's no such property here.
Food for thought. You might want to put that in there as an option.
Yeah, I mean, we never needed it, so we didn't do it.
gotcha. So let me ask this: when
Yeah.
you're in the control panel, and this is basically you're working, is the control panel basically you're communicating with the server, and you're making all of your customizations. So you don't. So basically, are you only maybe doing this every so often, going into the control panel and then saving that profile? So,
No.
or do you have
No.
to do this quite often?
No, this is this. You do this only once, actually.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You only have to really do this once.
You do it once to configure all the devices that you need, all the things that you need to load the drivers that you need for your setup, and that's all.
And that's all.
And then you close it and you forget about it until you want to change something really strange. For example, some property of some camera, like readout speed or things like that are not exposed by the client that you're using. For example, we got IN here, which is the program that is used under Linux for image acquisition. You have capture here. You select the camera you want to use. For example, let's say Imager Simulator, and the filter wheel. And the filter wheel has some filters here.
Right.
And if you don't like the names, you change the filters and things like that, or something like that. You just go here. Where's the filter wheel? There you go. Filter wheel, and you open filter wheel, and you have here slot 1, slot 2, slot 3, slot 4, slot 5 names. So for example, we can call it something like Y, for example.
Sure.
Or something like nonsense, but anyway. And I'm going to set it, and there you go. You have it here right away.
Got you.
So
okay. So basically within basically the control panel, that's tied to the server and not necessarily to the client. So
that's tied to the framework that you're using.
Okay.
For example, if you load the drivers from the client, it's tied to the client. But if you use a server, it's tied to the server. For example, if I connect to the other server that I have here in my network, for example, Vega, you have another server called Vega, and it has totally different. It has different settings, and it runs INDIGO 268.
Gotcha.
This is what I wanted to say. So, but we are not going to use this one anyway. So I'm going to turn it off. And you can write your servers here. You can write your server name here, and you can add it here, and it will show up as another server. Those servers, for example, are auto detected that I set with this icon. And for example, let's say test here, and say add. And we have test server with this icon here, which means that this server is not auto detected. This is hard coded server, and it will connect when it's available, obviously. But we don't have such server, so I'm just going to remove it from the list.
Gotcha.
And I'm having this server Vega here running, and I'm just going to stop it like this, and see what happened. It disappeared from the list. And when I start it again,
it's right back on.
There you go. It's back on. Yeah, this is what I wanted to show you. But we are not going to use this server right now. Okay, so this is the control panel. This is what it does. Actually, this is a configuration tool only. You don't have to do anything from the control panel. So I'm going to close it, and I'm going to, for example, I selected the server that I'm going to use, for example, Indigo Sky here. And if I say like connect to Vega also, and go like here, and I have an option to use Vega server.
Gotcha.
So I can use, for example, Vega for Vega for imaging and for Indigo Sky for guiding. I can mix them.
Yep.
But okay, so I'm just to declutter the stuff. I'm just going to use only Indigo Sky for now. Close, and so this is the main screen actually. Here you can say how many exposures you want, delay between exposures, what type of exposure, light, bias, dark, flat, and stuff like this. You can select your resolution here. You can select your filter wheel here and how many frames you want to do. For example, and you can do a preview. For example, let's start a preview, and nice Rosetta Nebula. Here, this is the simulated image. It's not something real. I mean, it's a real image, but it comes from the camera simulator.
Right.
And you can say, for example, we want to do 15 exposures, but let's do it with dithering. So we can select guider agents that we want to dither. We can go to guider. Let me see if it's calibrated. It looks like calibrated. So I'm not going to hit calibrate. I'm just going to use the guider simulator camera and the guider itself. So the guider is a different type of device. It could be part of the mount. It could be part of the CCD camera that has this ST4 port, and it can be a standalone device that supports this type of feature. So we have them as separate devices. The guider is separate. It's not the camera that you're guiding. You're using the device itself. So, for example, we can do something like preview to see what image we have. You can see some stars here. And we use selection guide, for example, and with 4 stars, and it already selected the stars. You see?
Okay.
There are 4 stars that have been selected.
So it's doing multi-star guiding.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
So we're stopping this preview. We don't need it anymore. Here in the advanced settings, you can customize basically everything. How aggressive to be the guiding. You can compensate, for example, 50% of the error. You can compensate 100% of the error. And we have a so-called PI, proportional integral controller here, which has a nice feature that it can really well compensate for periodic error, because when you do some correction calculated based on the previous input, you don't take into account with only this proportional part. You don't take into account the previous error, but you have some residual error that is accumulated between those exposures, and you can control. You can correct this error with this integral gain. We have a guide how to fine tune it, and this way you can eliminate entirely the periodic error of the mount, and you don't have to worry about it. For example, you can stack frames and all the details here, calibration steps and stuff like this. I'm not going to go into detail here.
Right.
Before we go much further, can we just take a look at the help menu? I just like to see how it's laid out.
No, there's no help menu here. It's on the website. There are a lot of guides here. I can for example show you, like
because I got a feeling everybody's going to be definitely wanting to get a little bit of
Let me show you. There you go. For example, if you want what do you want? The guider agent, how to control your, and here's the help.
Yeah, okay, but I see, but you have to get out of the program. What I was thinking is that we're into that guiding program right now, and I see that at the top there's a help menu. Let's say somebody needs just a little bit of assistance to pick a setting.
Well, there are tooltips. There are tooltips like, for example, getting here.
Okay,
Max pulse, range, and stuff like. So this,
Okay.
but they're just basic. This is just basic information. If you want to learn how to fine tune this, how to use the things in detail, you have to go to the website and get these things from there. Read them there. That's it.
Okay.
So I think we've done it really comprehensive, and they're easy to follow. So we have another guide for autofocus tuning. Here's the autofocus. For example, I can demonstrate the autofocus, but you have to select which focuser to use, because you may have several cameras with several focusers and things like that in your setup. You have controls here. You have a lot of settings here. We have two algorithms for autofocus. One is peak half-lux diameter, which is something like most of the programs do, and we have something called RMS contrast, which uses the whole image, and it tries to achieve the best contrast for the image and this is the best focus actually. This is really useful feature because you don't have you don't need to have stars actually, very good stars for focusing and things like that. So okay, I'm not going to go in these details here. I'm just going to do like preview here, and you'll see the image sharp, and I'm going to say, for example, like a little bit defocus, preview, and you see the image, it's blurred. And now I'm going to start the focus. Let me just check the settings here. Yeah, okay. Start the focus, and it'll start RMS contrast on this image, and it will try to find the best focus for us. And it draws us the graph of the focusing.
So let me ask this also.
Yeah.
So because this seems like, since it's basically, you also have this server, this could be used quite a bit if you're using multiple telescopes. So you can have a server and multiple clients. So you can have Raspberry Pis, everything running off of one device. I mean, everything running off of one server. So you can have all your imaging and all that stuff done on one server, but you have multiple Raspberry Pis doing different things.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
and looking at do it.
Go ahead.
Yeah?
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Yeah. You can do this in two ways. First, you can do it from the client. You can select different things. For example, you can guide on one Raspberry Pi from the client, or you can do it on the server side, like connecting one server to another and say, okay, expose the guider from this server, expose this thing from this thing, and you get like a bus. You see all the devices, and you can just select the device you want.
Right.
Exposed from one server.
Okay. Now, what are, just out of from my own curiosity, if you are using this with a server, with a separate server and a client, say the client's the little Raspberry Pi or what have you running the client, what are the requirements for the server? Like, say, system requirements. Are there specific types of processing or system requirements?
I'm testing it. I'm testing it on Raspberry Pi 3 with 1 gigabyte RAM and with Raspberry Pi 4, and it works quite fine with both of them.
Okay, and that's actually you running the server on the Raspberry Pi.
Yes, exactly.
Gotcha.
You're running the server on the Raspberry Pi.
Okay.
And all these things that I'm showing here is running on a Raspberry Pi. And only the visualization part, only the things that you need to see are exposed here. There's no logic in this client. This client is just sending commands to the server, setting properties, and receiving the results.
Gotcha.
That's all. Nothing more than that. For example, if you say, like, we want to do like blue or H alpha, I set H alpha. It goes yellow, which means that it's busy. It's moving it, and when it goes dark again, it's set. It's done.
Nice.
Yeah. So, for example, I can start guiding here. For let's say let's do it like this. So hopefully it will work. Start guiding. Oh, there you go. And well, we introduced some error in the simulator just to see all these things moving around. And we have started the guiding, and we can go here and capture some frames. For example, exposure, we can do some 6-second exposures, like let's say 10 images. And we selected for dithering our guider agents, and we start expose.
Yep.
And in 6 seconds, we'll have our first exposure. And let's see the guider, what it does. Oh, you see, it's dithering.
Yep.
And when the dithering is finished, when it detects that the error is really small, it'll resume guiding. Yeah, it's guiding.
So,
And the
so
other
what-
and the other exposure started.
Mhm.
So I
So
mean,
what-
they
oh,
synchronized. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
what I'm thinking is with the calibration, then, do you need to calibrate at 0 degrees celestial equator and 1 or 2 hours east or west of the meridian for guiding?
You can calibrate everywhere in the sky.
Okay, good.
Nice.
You can calibrate wherever you want, and it'll estimate where you calibrated. Because if you calibrate very near to the pole, for
Mhm.
example, you'll have a really minute move in right ascension. And if you calibrate on the equator, it will be more, and it evaluates that, and it knows where it's calibrated,
Okay.
so it can
And
adjust for that.
getting back to the focusing, can you tell us what the X and the Y axis is on that scale?
Oh yeah, okay. For this example here, I didn't specify image name, and you see it warns me that it's not saving the images anywhere.
Gotcha.
So I had to write something right here, like
okay, so you have to give it that. Yeah, so there you have to give it the name.
And next one will come with name. Sorry about that. I just forgot. Oh, there you go.
And there it goes. Gotcha.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it was about focusing.
Mhm.
Here, this is the contrast level of this particular image. Unfortunately, this is not something like HFD, full half flux diameter, and things like that. It's only it's the contrast of the whole image, and the maximum the contrast, the best the image. The best the focus.
Mhm.
So this is what we.
So the x-axis is what, and then the y-axis is what?
The x-axis, this axis here, x, is the number of exposure. In how many exposures it managed to reach the focus.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And on y-axis, it could be contrast, or if you switch to let's say peak FHD, and let me check. Yeah, that's it. It will show you FHD.
Okay.
And
right.
but in this case, when we cannot hit focus because we are busy here.
Right.
We are doing some images here still. I'll stop that. Okay, and I'll show you how the focus works with, for example, with you can select a star like this. You can select a star, or you can let Indigo select the star, but you cannot clean it really easy. You have to type here 0 and 0,
Mhm.
and let Indigo select star. Probably it will select the same star. I'm not sure. Let's try it. Hit focus. Oh yeah. Selected the one next to it, and it will start focusing sequence, and it will show you FHD in this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I find this.
Will it only show in HFD, or will it show in full width half max?
I think
you
there's
can
a setting,
you can show it in full width half max. You can show it in full width half max, but unfortunately, we had this metrics for focusing, but I don't find it really reliable. So that's why we ditched it, and we switched to FHD only.
HFD. Okay.
Yeah.
A lot of people have switched over from FWHM.
Yeah.
It's not really reliable.
Yeah.
I mean, it's reliable, but it requires some complex calculations and some modeling of the star shape and things like that. And at the end, you're not measuring the same star.
Gotcha.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Gotcha.
it's, I mean,
So looking at
not
the
really
scale,
reliable for them. Yep.
so looking at the scale on the bottom where we have f, the full width half maximum, is that pixels or is that arc seconds?
It's pixels.
Pixels. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's pixels. Actually, everywhere here in this client is pixels. Even in guiding is pixels,
Okay.
because I find pixels more informative than arc seconds. For example, if you have a telescope that has 9 by 10 minutes of frame, 1 second could be 10 pixels, right?
Yeah.
But you want, in this case, you want the guiding to be quite to be more precise, and pixels are kind of more informative to me, and that's why we have it everywhere in pixels.
Okay.
But you can easily calculate it. I mean, I didn't do that, for example. But so I showed you here the for example, the focusing. I showed you the guiding. Oh, it still guides. See? We didn't stop it. And we have some other features, like you can use JPEG for guiding. You don't have to use the image that you have. It's just a preview. Everything is done on the server, and what you have here is just a visualization of what the server does. So you don't even need this image here. This image is absolutely, I mean, the program doesn't need it. So you have to. It's only for a visual representation what goes on.
Gotcha.
And if you switch, for example, to Find JPEG, and if you switch to 20 ready around the selection, you'll get some small image, and this way you can save a lot of bandwidth. For example, if you're working on a remote observatory and things like that.
Okay.
So this is done for the this is a kind of optimization that you can use. And well, this is the guiding. Oh, for the guiding, you can use only declination. You can only right ascension guiding. You can do donuts guiding, which uses the whole frame. You can use selection, and you can use centroid. Centroid is used for planets, to keep the planet or the moon or some large object, to keep them on in the same place.
Gotcha.
And selection is this one here with 4 stars selected. And donuts is the whole frame of evaluation. It evaluates the whole frame and detects the drift by analyzing the whole frame. The next thing is the telescope. Oh, we didn't select the mount. Okay, so mount simulator. We unpark it, and let's go somewhere more reasonable, like let's say 9 degrees, and like for example at the meridian 14 hours. You hit go to. And off you go. So now we will.
Now, is the go-to? Is it something where you can, or there's maybe a catalog that you can select from, or is it basically your input based off of your? Okay, nice. So you can do it off your object,
and it shows it shows it real time. For example, M31.
Yep. Okay. Cool.
And you can let's do it like M31. You click on it, and you'll see here the coordinates of Andromeda Galaxy loaded.
Gotcha.
And you can just do go to, and that's it.
Okay.
Now it will not go to Andromeda Galaxy. You'll see the same image. But
right.
anyway.
Right.
So, yeah, you're on the simulator.
Yeah, but we can do something else.
What choice of speeds do I have with the telescope?
You have let me check. You have guide rate, centering rate, finding rate, and max rate. These are.
Can you define what each of those are then? What's sidereal, king rate? I mean, moon rate.
Oh, I mean you mean the tracking rate?
The tracking rate. That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
It depends on it depends on the driver itself. This driver doesn't have. Yeah, different mounts. I mean, some mounts don't have. For example, some mounts have only sidereal rate, and it depends on the mount. It's not something that depends on INDIGO
on the software. Okay.
So
and we cannot control that.
Yeah, so if it has other tracking rates, it'll pop up in the imager.
They'll not pop here in the imager, but they'll pop here. When you go to the mount, and go to the main, you'll get some like mount. You have guiding rate. You can set the guiding rate here. Like you can set the coordinates. If you set this, the mount will go to this coordinate. You can abort motion here. You can set home position. You can do whatever you want, and you can guide north. No, you can move northwest. You can do basically everything that mount can do.
There it is.
And there's
the
the
trailer
trailer
rates. There they are. Sidereal,
Here they
solar,
are.
lunar.
Yeah, we have them in the simulator.
Oh,
Okay.
But if the simulator didn't have lunar available, it wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is only what the simulator offers. Actually,
Got
this is here you see all the properties that are to the particular hardware that you have.
So if it was say a Celestron CGX and you had that connected, it would show you those particular tracking rates that are available
Exactly.
on
Got
the
it.
CGX.
Exactly.
Got it. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Got you. Now,
And
can this also now can Indigo also can it do any type of video like for planetary, or is this more focused for deep sky imaging for deep sky?
It can do video. It can do video.
Okay.
It can do video, and we have even very effective way of transferring video. And but it started in a different way. It's not started like an usual exposure. Let me check if we have this video on our imager simulator here. Camera. Okay. Start streaming. There you go.
Okay.
We have streaming here. You can start streaming with, for example, 10 seconds exposure, and let's say -1 is to infinity, but you can say like 5 frames and things like that.
Okay.
So you can do this.
Nice.
Yeah. But it depends on the driver, and it depends on the camera. Some cameras just don't have it because they download the image for 10 seconds. What kind of video you can get with this?
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So this is it, and this is the telescope. You have object here. You have solver here. You can solve and center. You can solve the image that you have, and you can center it wherever you want.
Mm-hmm.
Here you can configure your coordinates. You can use the mount coordinates that are in the mount. You can use from the coordinates from the dome, and you can use the coordinates from the GPS if you have one connected. And you can set them manually here. Depends on what you want, and you can keep the mount time synchronized with the GPS or with the whatever source you select here. For example. Here you can see the GPS, but I didn't start the GPS simulator.
Right.
I don't think it's essential. And this is the polar alignment. I'll demonstrate, for example, the polar alignment. But first I want to show you some other cool stuff. For example, if we go to the solver and we select the source of the solver, you can upload file for solving. We are not going to do this. I mean, this is quite trivial. And you can say, for example, imager agent, but we need to switch from imager to the guider simulator, because the guider simulator has one very nice feature. It synchronizes with the mount and shows you a simulated sky. So this is a real sky here that you see.
Mm-hmm.
And if we move the telescope, it will change. For example, let's see what it will solve. Let's try to solve it. It will take some time because, I mean, it's Raspberry Pi. It's not very powerful, and unfortunately, it takes a couple of seconds. I mean, a little bit more to solve the image. But we have the image here.
We have another question here from Jerry.
Yeah.
Does Indigo require an internet connection? Thinking about remote
locations
that don't have internet. Okay.
No, it doesn't require internet connection. You can use it in the local area network. You can use it via Wi-Fi. For example, Indigo Sky offers Wi-Fi by default called Indigo Sky with the password Indigo Sky. You log on there, you change the password, and you use it.
Okay.
Nice.
And you can connect to it via Wi-Fi. So it's we have our image solved. We can see our coordinates here. And now when we drag when we put our mouse over the image, we see the coordinates right here. See?
Yep.
Under the mouse.
Yep.
Nice.
And for example, if you go to this tab and say like I want to center this star, and click it like this, it loads the coordinates here, and I can type go to, and it will center. And the next frame will center. We'll have this star in the center.
Very nice.
Oh, there you go. And let's try to capture to make a preview here just to see.
And that's
that's
the framing
too, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
Is there a sync command that we can see? Yeah, there it is, right there in the middle. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Solve and sync. Okay.
Yeah. Solve. You can solve the frame, and when it solves this frame, it will sync the telescope to these coordinates.
Right.
And you have solve and center. For example, if you go like here and say I want to go to, let's say, Andromeda Galaxy, I select those things. But let's wait. Syncing telescope. It says syncing telescope, and okay, it's synced. So it's synced with the coordinates from the solver, 14 o'clock and 11 degrees, 14 and 11. That's it. So we can solve and center. We can go somewhere. We can go somewhere, for example, and if our object is somewhere not really in the middle, we can just go type solve and center, and it will use those coordinates that we requested. It will solve, and it will make the corrections needed to put the object right in the center. Is that clear?
Yep. Yeah.
It's something like a precise. It's something like a precise go-to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Basically. Yeah.
Nice.
For example, so let's do.
So with this, do you have the capability of doing a modeling?
Modeling of the sky? I mean, let's
say I want to do maybe like a 3-star modeling or a 30-star modeling. Does this software give that ability?
Actually, no. In the currently no, but we have an agent that is called alignment agent. I'm working on that. This is my next project that I'm going to do. But to be honest, I never needed this, and nobody asked about this, because with this solve and center, it works all the time. I mean, it's just rock solid. So you go somewhere, you just click solve and center, and your object is right in the center. And you can
we have another question.
Yep.
MX Quattro is asking, can it do annotation, say star annotation or constellation or object annotation when it does its plate solving, or when it solves? Can it give some sort of annotation of the object? Well,
you can, but we don't use it. I mean, it does it, but we don't use it. I mean, if there is a feature request by some users or somebody else, we can probably consider doing it. But right now we don't have it.
Okay.
And well, this is pretty. Oh, let's just demonstrate the last feature that I implemented.
The newest one.
Yep. Yeah, the new one.
The newest one. Yeah, the newest one. So this is the polar alignment. Okay, so we want to do polar alignment. We selected here the imager. We want this image source to be from the imager agent, and we see the imager agent is on Indigo Sky, and we want it to do 1 second exposure. And let's move something like 20 degrees, and we are. Let's go to the equator, like 14, and let's do some here. Go to. We set up our initial. We set up our initial position, and we just type start alignment. And
now is this maybe like an all-star polar alignment, or is it just or does your telescope and mount have to be pointing to Polaris, towards Polaris?
No, you don't have to point to Polaris. It can do it wherever you want. I mean, it works everywhere.
Okay.
Okay, so we are moving to the second point, and now we are going to move to the third point. When it's solved, it's going to move to the third point, and it will tell you what's the polar error. It should be something close to 0 because it's only the simulator errors that we implemented only for the guiding.
Right.
But we shall see. But I'll show you our simulator supports the polar error also, so we can introduce some polar error. Okay, so we are going to the point 3, now measuring point 3. Actually, it takes less than a second on the real PC, but not on the Raspberry Pi, unfortunately. So it's solving the image still, I suppose.
Yeah, we actually had another question for MX Contra. We got another question from MX Quattro. What about doing plans beforehand? Can you set up plans beforehand before connecting? And mosaics.
Well, you can set the plans, but you have to connect to upload them to the server. There's no other way.
Okay. And what about mosaics?
No mosaic support yet.
Okay.
Yeah, this is something that should be done by the client itself, and we didn't do that. But you can do it by hand, like clicking right here and say go here and things like that. But it's the manual way, you know.
Right.
Yeah. So we got our polar error. It's 0.6 arc minutes, and it tells us to move it clockwise with some amount and down with some amount. I mean, this is pretty decent polar alignment, but I'm going to knock it off a bit, like going to the guider simulator here and introduce some error, like let's say 1 degree in altitude and 30 minutes in azimuth, and we are going to recalculate. Let's see what it has to, what will tell us. It should be 60, well, close to 60 and close to 30.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the calculation. There you go.
Yeah.
59,
52, and 30, 24.
And that's because you basically told the computer that you were pointing somewhere else, and it's still pointing at the same stars.
Yes, exactly. I mean, I implemented this in the simulator because it's easier to debug the actual polar alignment.
Yeah, I think we should make it clear to our people that are actually thinking about watching this. You probably shouldn't mess around with that if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, I mean, this is just a simulator. I mean,
I know, but
you can do whatever you want. I mean, it's safe to break it in any possible way. It's just a simulator, and actually, these features here, like simulation setup, are these things here are mainly done for the development, because we want to, for example, this array offset and deck offset are to simulate offset in the. For example, when you are guiding, you want to simulate some random error. You just go here, type like 4 and type set, and you see what happens with the simulation graph. So basically.
So my question is, let's go back to the error and let's look at the azimuth and the altitude. Let's just go back
to here.
Yeah, right here. So we're saying now that we have to move, let's say the azimuth, we have to move 30.24 minutes. So we would have to kind of arbitrarily move it, whether it be a full turn or a half turn or a quarter turn.
Well, it depends. It depends on the mount. I mean, there's
But I'm just trying to explain this to our members. This is what you're going to have to do. You have to get to know what.
You have to figure it out how much, for example, how much is 1 turn. 1 turn is usually too much, but how much is half turn, and then you can figure it out how much you have to move it.
So basically, what they would be doing is they would, let's say, if they're just adjusting the as, just turn it in the as, recalculate, turn it in the as, recalculate.
Exactly.
Is there like a loop button on there where you can kind of
I was thinking about it, but it's not a good idea because you may move it while it's looping, while it's taking the exposure, and you'll get a blurred image, and it will not solve, and it will lead to some frustration.
Got it.
Okay, we've got another question here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cap 404 is asking, can it do p-pet curves or predictive periodic error curves? Can you save those? Can you save those p-pet curves to a profile? Is actually what
no, it can't do this. But if you need it for guiding, you don't need it because you can adjust your where, let me just, there you go. No. Sorry, it's too late here. I mean, it's 4:30. Wow.
Too early in the morning.
Yeah, it's too early in the morning. Yeah. So you have it here. So you can by adjusting this value here, you can completely eliminate this error in guiding. So you don't have to care about it. I mean, no need for this.
Yeah, you just have to play around with it to get your number.
Yeah, and we have a good guide how to adjust it. You can read it in the guide, and it's a couple of steps, and you're done.
Can you go back to the sequencer? The sequencer because we have
actually there's no sequencer yet here. I'm working on a sequencer right now on this application because this is a relatively new application. It's kind of 1.5 years old.
Okay.
Because before that I was mainly concentrated on the INDIGO framework. We have it in the INDIGO framework, but in the sequence I can show you the sequencer how it looks in the control panel. So I opened way too much control panels here. I'm just going to close some of them. Okay, and it's Imager agent. Where's that Imager agent? Yes, there you go. And if you go here, and there you go. Here you can write your. Actually, the client will do this. It will write your sequence. For example, here you can say I want to execute batch 1, batch 2, batch 3. And I have to define what batch 1 does, what batch 2 means, and what batch 3 means. Okay. Well, this is not the way to do it. This is exposed because this is a property of the thing. But the real sequencer, I didn't implement it yet. I'm going to implement it next in IN. But for the time being, you can only do this like by hand. I mean, you can say 10 exposures of how many seconds.
Okay.
With what filter and that's pretty much everything that you can do.
Gotcha.
I mean, for the time being, I have it almost done, but it's not ready yet for the public.
But it's coming. But it's on its way.
It's coming. Yeah, it's coming. It's on the way. Actually, the applications from Peter, like this one here. Let me just show you how it looks. How it looked here. Yeah.
Okay.
This is how Peter did it. But I'm going to do it a little bit differently. I have another ideas of everything, and that's why we have separate applications. But it'll be coming. So, what's the question about the sequencer?
Yeah, because that was basically it. It was, what were the features the sequencer was going to have, or what features does the sequencer have?
Pretty much everything.
Okay.
Whatever you need. I mean, you can select focusing. You can select exposure time. You can select delay between exposures. We can select how many frames in this batch. You can specify name. You can select offset, gain, filter. everything.
Okay.
There was also a question from Captain saying, is there either a user group or a Discord channel or something to seek out help?
Yeah, there is on our website. If you go to our website, I'm just going to open it here. Can you share my screen?
Got it?
Yep.
Yeah, if you go to, for example, to any page here in the bottom, we have a Facebook group, which we do some announcements and stuff, and we have this thing here. Oh, what else? Oh, there you go.
Oh, there we go.
Okay.
And you can ask your questions. Just go there and type it, and so let's
so you got a good forum. You got a good forum there. So
yeah. Oh yeah. But there's some new stuff that I didn't read. But anyway, so we have it here.
That's okay. You're forgiven. It's only 4:30 in the morning. So
Yeah. Oh, well, this is pretty much everything that I wanted to show you.
Appreciate it.
So if you have,
excellent.
and I must say, the Windows and the Linux versions of the client is absolutely free and open source.
Nice.
All right.
Yep.
All right. So let's see if there's any other questions out there. Let's see. Better late than never. It's evening all. Let's see. Jesse, no, Jesse, everyone thinks you're on mute.
Ruben, I noticed that you can definitely set the scope in your park and unpark position, but do you also have the telescope limits? Is there a settings that you can set?
If the mount supports it, we have it.
Okay.
But it's in the control panel. This is not the setting that you're setting on a daily basis. This is something you set and forget.
Yeah.
So these things will not going to be exposed in the client itself.
No, it's
the
just
user
the one-time
interface
setup.
is. Yeah. So if you go, for example, we have it here connected a mount agent. I'm not sure if it has it, for example, but let's see. We have equatorial coordinates, guide rate, home. So going to home position. You define your home position. You get your horizontal coordinates here. You get vendor, model, firmware. It's a simulator, obviously. Nothing is known about this mount. So, move west-east, move north-south, look to target position. You can sync here. Mount is parked and unparked. You can park and unpark mount. You can select park position, set home position, and I'm afraid the simulator doesn't
have that then. Okay, it's just mount
yeah,
dependent.
but if the mount has it, I mean,
it'll populate.
We have some properties that are mandatory. For example, the CCD camera should have exposure. And we rely on the fact that the CCD camera has exposure. Otherwise you cannot use it. And for example, mount should have go-to capability. So it should have, for example, equatorial coordinates. So if I change them here, let's do it like this, just to demonstrate it. I'll open the telescope and I'll say here, let's go to 1 o'clock. And it goes and it started, and you see it here. It's equivalent if you're setting it from here or from here. It's just the same. Just this is in a better UI. So if the mount has any such specific properties, they will be visible in the control panel, but they will not be visible here in the imager.
In the imager. A couple more questions here from MX Quattro. Can you control dew heaters or any?
Yes. They are in the auxiliary class. Auxiliary devices. They are controlled by the auxiliary agent.
Okay, so those are controlled by the auxiliary agent.
Bunch of questions.
Yeah, and another one we have is there a list of compatible mounts?
Yes, it's on the website.
Okay.
Actually, let me show you. If you go, for example, compatible hardware, and there you go.
Okay.
This is the list. And to be more, if you want to be more precise, if the driver is tested with some specific camera or with some specific with your, for example, specific mount, you just click here on the README and see what it supports. For example, let's say ASI, just a random second one, and it says the driver is developed and tested with this hardware.
Gotcha.
Okay, there we go.
How about accessing it? Obviously you're on a computer right now, and I guess hopefully you guys can hear me now.
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear you now.
Are you able to access this with a mobile device? I think with the Raspberry Pi, is one of the appeals to them is that you're not needing to take a whole computer out, but can you get in?
Yes, you can access it. You can access it. I can show you. You have to install a VNC client for it, but you need to install something additional. It's written here on our webpage. Let me show you. We have Indigo Sky here. It says what basically you have the images here that you can download and burn them. And here at the bottom with the mobile devices, you have to type those commands. You have to log into the console of this thing, or you can attach a screen to it and keyboard to it and type those commands. And once you type those commands, you get something like this. Let me just close everything here. This one we don't need it anymore. Like this, you open a VNC server, a VNC client, and eventually you'll see this desktop.
Okay.
And on the desktop, by default, you have ein image viewer. You'll have ein imager, the same as it is on your desktop, and you can navigate on your mobile device and use it. It's not really a native application, but it does the job.
Gotcha.
Okay. And there's one more question regarding the plate solving software.
Yep.
Can you choose a solver, or you have to use the Indigo solver?
Actually, the solver, one of them is astrometry.net, and the second one is ASTAP.
Oh, so
okay, so use that. Okay, so that was actually one of the questions, because everyone just loves how fast ASTAP is. So I mean, everyone's like,
yeah, it's really fast. It's really
Yeah.
fast, but I personally don't really use it because I find it often it doesn't find a solution. I mean,
Really?
it's more, yeah. For some reasons, I don't know why, but sometimes, I mean, it's not very often, but I've seen such situations, and
Okay.
I've never seen such situations with astrometry. It might be a bit slower,
Yeah.
but if you choose your indexes,
local server. Yeah.
yeah. But if you choose your indexes correctly on astrometry, it's blazing fast. I mean, less than a second. It can take less than a second to solve an image.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cinto, I think we answered this one because can you do a 3-star alignment? Yeah, it does do like a 3-star or multi-star polar alignment. Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Nice.
So what we've been looking at is the imager, the AIN Indigo imager. But with Indigo, you can still use some of the software, for example, like APT and the PhD.
Yeah, exactly.
The things that we're familiar with anyway. We can still use those. It's just somebody on a Mac or wanting to use a Raspberry Pi or Linux-based operating system could use that.
Actually, on the Mac, it runs natively. You can run Indigo server on your Mac. And you can run those applications from cloud makers that I mentioned earlier, and they will just work fine. You don't even have to care about any servers and stuff like this. They are done in this way that they are clients and servers at the same time. One of the architectures that I explained.
Yep.
But if you want to use it from Windows, actually, you need to start Alpaca agent, like going to control panel. Okay, and go to the server, and we are looking for Alpaca agent here somewhere. Apogee alignment. Artist. Oh, it's where's that? I don't see it.
Yeah. While we're looking for that, Al was asking, does this integrate with any type of planetarium software? What kind of planetarium software integration exists? Does it integrate with, say, Stellarium or any other type of, or Sky
With
Safari?
Stellarium, yeah, with Stellarium you can use it. You can use it through INDI compatibility mode.
Okay.
With Sky Safari, you can use it with LX200 protocol.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. All right.
See if there's any other questions.
No, just the last alpaca one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't see it here. What happened? Let me. Well, agent apogee.
Like somebody
But this
said,
is a
you
development
buy it.
version.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can do it differently. Wait, I can do it differently. I can do it like this, and I can load it by hand. Indigo. Indigo. Agent. Do we have it loaded here? There you go. We have it loaded, and we'll just connect to the. Let's do it from here. So now we are from Indigo Sky accessing my local computer. It's the other way around. I'll just disconnect this and connect this one, close, and we have Alpaca agent, and we have device info, device mapping, and you see all our devices that are exported from this server are available here as Alpaca devices.
All right.
And this is the default Alpaca discovery port, the port that Alpaca is going to connect and to ask for the list of the devices that this server supports. So there you go.
Okay. It looks like Eric, you got a question.
Yeah, and I was actually typing it back to Mark, but I'll just say it here. As long as the weather is as it's planned is going to cooperate, the new gear is going to get set up, and I'm going to be able to test it and do a video. So I've already got a plan as far as what I'm going to be trying to capture. So if all goes well, then maybe I can actually do it. But right now, it's not looking so hot. I hate it when you got clear skies and you have high winds.
Oh yeah.
Yep. You have clear skies all night, but you have it's like
20 mile an hour wind. 30 mile an hour gusts.
Yeah, exactly.
It's horrible. That was me last night. It was beautiful last night, and I'm sitting there, I'm looking at it, I'm watching I got, everybody knows I got the weather station, so I look at the weather station, and I see 21, 22, wind gust of 37, so I'm like, this is not going to work.
Yeah, so fingers crossed. I mean, hopefully I'll be able to get some time. Maybe Sunday. Maybe Sunday I'll be able to pull some data.
Well, tomorrow and Sunday. Finally, I think in New York, I think we have two nights in a row.
Yeah.
First time this winter, 2 nights in a row of clear skies. So I think I might be able to get some good data on the Thor's helmet, which I've been dying to get before it disappears on me.
Eric, what are you working on, Eric?
Well, I would like to work on. Well, it's getting kind of late, because Orion's leaving. But I was thinking about trying to maybe capture M78.
Okay.
Or NGC, or maybe NGC 1999, which is just below Orion, somewhere around there, or maybe the Witch Head, because we're getting closer towards new moon, so I can be able to use LRGB now. So we'll see.
You just want 1999 because of the TV show.
There you go. Actually, so I'm a huge Prince fan, so either way.
Oh, there you go. I'm a big Martin Landau fan, so I mean, so.
Maybe I'll do something. Just keep it simple, just for the video. Maybe I'll just if it's in the sky, or at least I'm able to it's going to be in the sky, but if I can capture it, maybe Perseus, maybe the double cluster with the FLT. So we'll see. Just something I can get some data and we can have some demos. It'll be nice.
So that's a good thing, Captain. I agree. I mean, are there any other questions out there? We're at now in 45 minutes now, and I know Ruben's coming up on 5 a.m. and he may want to get a small nap, before he's got
Absolutely.
At least tomorrow's Saturday. So
it's Saturday.
It is Saturday for you. Okay, because I know I can't say that's assignment because tomorrow's Sunday for him. So it's just.
It's not tomorrow. It's today for me.
It's actually today for you. All right, good. So
for me, it's 26th.
No, it's still it's the 25th in New York for another 2 hours and 15 minutes. So but anyway, so I don't see any other questions. So let's see. I missed the first. I don't know what that means, Chris, but okay, we'll leave that one go. So I mean, listen, I'm totally intrigued with Indigo. I think it's it's great for different platforms, and it's great. It's super fast. I love how fast it is. It's right when you plug it in, it pops back up. You don't have to worry about COM ports. You don't have to worry about any of that kind of stuff, and it just pops right up.
No, actually, with the COM ports, it's a little bit different story because you need to know which COM port is your device connected to. So it works only with the USB devices.
Okay.
Plug works only with the USB devices. Other devices you have to specify the COM port by hand because it cannot detect.
Okay, well, good thing I put that up then because that's a good point. So there you go. So if it was answered earlier, skip the question. I don't understand the question, Chris. Why was a fourth?
I guess where they split the Indigo and the Indie, like where they went.
Why was Indie and Indigo split? Okay, I got it now. Thank you.
Okay. Well, they didn't split actually. They didn't split. Some time ago. I mean, something like 5 or 6 years ago. Peter and I were indie developers. Peter was really into it, and I was a kind of beginner there. And I started to contribute to indie, and I had some ideas how to improve it, and Peter had some ideas how to improve it. But for some reason, the community around indie didn't accept our proposals, didn't accept our ideas to move forward. One of these being, for example, faster file downloads. The other was the agents that we support, and they just refused to accept this, and we decided to split and to create Indigo from scratch. And actually, it's a complete rewrite of everything. We didn't use a single line of code from Indie.
Nice.
Just several ideas like properties, and we were trying to keep the properties to some extent compatible with Indie because we didn't have clients, our clients, so we have to be compatible with it so that users can use it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it. Actually, it's a different project. For example, Indie is written in C++, and we write Indigo in plain C for compatibility reasons. We just want it to run on different platforms, and actually we have some vendors that are implementing their own hardware talking directly Indigo. They're just out of the box Indigo compatible, so you don't have to write drivers for them.
Okay. All right. So, any other questions? I don't think I see. Let's see.
I don't think so.
Well, Ruben, thank you. It's
been very much. Yeah, Ruben. Yes, definitely.
Well, thank you for having me.
No, thank you for coming on. Thank you for staying up so late.
Yeah.
Sure. To hang out with us, it's definitely been an eye opener for me, and I appreciate the time and effort that you kind of put together for us. So thank you so much.
Well, thank you. So I'm leaving. Bye.
All right. Have a good night. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
Bye. All right.
All right. He looked tired, man. He was ready for bed.
For sure.
Yeah. So a really interesting presentation on that. I think it's definitely something to kind of look into, especially if you're dealing with different types of platforms. I think that's really, really interesting that there's finally some opportunities out there if you're that Mac user that wants to use your Mac out in the field. There's not many of us. There are some that want to bring a $2,700 Mac out in the field with the dew and the dirt and the if you're in Arizona, the Scorpions. But hey, I mean, there are definitely opportunities out there for other platforms, so it's nice to see.
Yeah.
He made Scott look wired. Frank's back. All right. Well, all I saw was that I had to make sure I had to give Scott a text every once in a while. I'd be like, "Yo, man, you okay?" There you go. Thumbs up, buddy. There you go. But yeah. So I didn't get now that we got the bunch of us. I didn't get everybody's take on the picture of the week.
Oh,
and
that's right.
Scott sent me his. Jess sent me hers. Tegan sent me mine. I got those. Eric, I think you said okay. I think you said yours. I guess I'm only waiting on Pete.
What do I do? I'm sorry. What did I miss?
So Pete, you can throw a monkey wrench into this whole thing because everybody I think said the same picture. So and we're not going to tell you which picture it is.
Oh, it's the pictures that we looked at. Remember, we had the three, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the pictures that we looked at. Yeah. So
okay. So I'm on the spot right now, huh?
So you're on the spot right now.
Oh, Jesus.
So
hold it. I'm going to take the fifth. I'm going to take the fifth.
he abstains from this one.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, there was the Rosette, there was Merlot 15, and there was one other one.
The heart.
The heart, yeah. Or was it the soul? I can't remember. Was it the soul? I mean, the heart
there was a heart and a soul.
Oh, okay. So, but the heart, we kind of zoomed in on Merlot 15. So for me, it was definitely between NGC 224, which is the Rosette, and also the Heart Nebula. It would definitely be a toss-up. If I make my choice, I would have to say I like the Rosette.
Okay, so 5-1.
There went that monkey wrench.
5 to
I gotta
1.
say, I went initially with the Rosette myself. That was the one that jumped out at me, as well. But I also, initially, I don't know if you saw that back there in the chat, Dan.
I did.
But I did. But you know what? I can get behind the other one as well. So.
So the winner was the heart. Sorry, Scott. Sorry, Pete. Actually, the only person I didn't get also was I didn't get Tyler yet, but he usually doesn't answer sometimes.
Yeah.
So all right. So okay. So people are asking, where do I send my pictures? Where do I send my pictures? So good job to Hogarth. AstroWorld's. He is our first picture of the week. Great photo. Again, I think that what brought it for me, and I think I'll echo everybody else. That detail in Merlot 15.
Merlot 15.
Yeah, sealed the deal for me.
Yep, absolutely.
I really did. And I think, we also said it's a reverse Statue of Liberty, and we said that's
I thought it was a wizard like Gandalf.
The wizard, the Gandalf, you shall not pass. The Balrog, right?
Yeah.
So I can't wait for that show to come out. I'm so psyched. Anyway,
September 2nd.
What's that?
September 2nd.
No, there you go. Thank you so much. I gotta wait. 6 months.
Yep.
At least I got Picard to keep me.
I've already got it set on my calendar.
Oh, geez. Okay.
In advance.
But
it's Monday before Labor Day weekend. Not that I'm paying attention or anything.
No, you're not paying attention. She's got a countdown clock over her fridge. But nice job to Hogarth.
Yep. Really a nice
for
image.
Our first one. My lovely webmaster Simon Lewis is making a special part of the website, so everybody will have a spot up there. So, and once we sit there, like we said at the end of the year, we'll do a picture of the year, and we'll have some semi-fabulous prizes. And I promise you, it won't be from the closet of death. It will be something from our lovely subscribers that is actually going to make, maybe help you on your journey in astrophotography. And if not, you can sell it on cloudy nights and be happy. But
someone mentioned that they love to have, is it Captain 404 said they like to have the details from the photo. Did we talk about
yeah, we will get the details for all the winners. Some people are going to send AstroBin links to the details, and that will be also on the website.
Okay.
So yeah, absolutely, we're going to definitely get all the details. Hogarth, nice job. Great first Astro Power. Somebody used the Astro Power word. There you go. It's catching on. Nice job. So the question was, where do I send my pictures? Great. All right. So I'm going to put the link back in the chat. Just if you could just give me 1 second here. Oh, I can't show you that. Let's see.
And then Dan, when do the submissions need to be accepted for the following week?
So it's gonna be. You can send it all. Let's say Tuesday. You want to do two? No, we're giving it out on Friday. So let's say Thursday.
Okay.
Thursday. So now we have up till next Thursday, midnight. So like Friday, 12:01 is the deadline. I'll look at the times too. I'm like that. That being said, you're gonna be able to put them in. I'm gonna give you a link right now. And please don't make any new folders or anything. Just drop them in the main root. I'll take care of the folders, but just drop them in there. Let's see. So I'm gonna. Where's Astro Pod? It says Astro Pod, but that's okay. And share and get link. And copy link. And here you go. And it's going to go to everywhere. It's going to be Twitter, Twitch, whatever. It's all up there. So you could go right to this Google Drive and you could just drop your file in there. Please don't give JPGs. Give something high def so we can kind of look at it. I'm gonna say to the rest of the guys and girls here that I don't know if we want to do it online. I think we should kind of like judge them on our own, and then come up with the reason why you picked the one. You know what I mean?
Sure. Okay.
I think.
Don't forget the details. Don't forget, when submissions, please don't forget your details.
Yeah, so if you could either throw either a link or a text file with all the specs on the photos, that would be great, because it gives us a little bit more to go on.
Sure.
What else? What else do I have? I have a couple more things that I just want to talk about. So the website. The website is looking really good. And some people were asking me, well, what about the newsletter and how do I do this? So if you go, and I'll just go right to the website. This is the new website that Simon Lewis has been working on. This is the grand reveal, I guess. Okay. So
hey, Lake Tahoe.
I'll take your word for it. I don't know. I asked Simon to change the backdrop a little bit to something a little bit more spacey, telescopy something. So it's a beautiful picture, but I don't know if it captures AstroWorld. But well, that's okay. So you go to the first link. You go to meet the AstroWorld team. There's some pictures, some bios, stuff like that. Jesse, there's a picture for you. There you go. We got that.
Oh my God. Oh my gosh. You found me in my dream telescope and the scope that I don't have.
Yeah, well, that's okay. So Pete, your picture will be up. I found your picture. Scott, I found your picture as well. Tegan, I have his picture. So there is some stuff. It is a work in progress. So just remember that, that we're working on it. We have a blog entry right now. There's only 2 entries because I'm still writing product. But remember, there's some there's going to be some really cool stuff in here. That anybody, I'll throw this out to the entire membership. If anybody wants to write anything on the blog, feel free to send it to me. And I won't take credit. You'll get the byline. You'll do everything. It'll be your article. And I will be happy to, throw it up there as an entry on the blog post. So feel free, if you have the inclination to write content and you wish to write something about something, bring it on.
Hey, Dan, throw up that article I put together for the Halos. Put that. It'll be the 3rd entry.
That's it. That's in the. Where did you put that in the email, right?
Yep. Remember I sent that to you as an attachment. That would be a good one for the 3rd entry.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah, we could do that. Absolutely.
No, I like this. This is going to be nice.
Yeah. I mean, Simon's doing a really, really cool job with it. Yeah. So thank you, Simon, for putting this together. If you're so inclined, you could buy your AstroWorld gear. Yeah. Okay. So just so everybody knows that these are all iron-on stuff. And whenever you buy something from here, 5% we donate 5% of the profits to an astronomy club somewhere across the world. So and I do research on it and whatever. We haven't had many people buy anything yet. I think there's only one person that bought something besides myself. And here you go. Here's the hat. There's the AstroWorld hat. So we send it out. We'll send them a check as a donation from the AstroWorld membership. So you could do that. Also, we got our sponsor page, which is being filled in a little bit. He's doing a really good job with it. There you go. Nice.
Yeah, it's coming along. Looks good.
It is. It really is.
It's really looking good.
It looks professional. It looks nice. If you want links to any of our social media, it's up top. And for those of you that want to know how to get involved with the giveaways coming away in March, you go down to the bottom of the contact us page, sign up for the newsletter. It'll come right to me and the MailChimp, so you can get not only the newsletter that's going to be coming out once a month, but you'll be signed up automatically for all the giveaways and be put on the wheel of death. So, well, not the wheel of death, but the wheel spinner. Yeah.
The wheel to get something out of the closet of death. The wheel of death.
And if you're lucky, you'll get a Windows 95 copy of The Sky. But somebody's going to get that. Little story. For 20 years, me and my friends had a can of beer. It was a Coors Extra Gold. I don't know. I may be dating myself. Coors Extra Gold can of beer. And it was a joke. Whenever we went to somebody's house, we would just take it and put it in their fridge. And it would travel all over. It traveled all over the country. It was all, and somehow it ended up back in my fridge. 20 years in the making. My dad comes home wasted out of his mind and drinks it. You could imagine what a 20-year can of beer, Coors Extra Gold, tasted like. He spit it all over the place. It was disgusting. So that's going to be like this. That's going to be like the Sky disc. This has been all over the country, and it's going to end up somewhere. I'll probably send it to Pete.
It's the gift that keeps on giving, Dan.
Pete's got like a Windows XP machine somewhere. I'm telling you.
Oh, I've got one somewhere around here. I tell you. That's funny.
So we got AZ. Yeah. So AZ. Yeah. So if you got a text file or a Word document or something like that, or if it's not an AstroBin, if you have an AstroBin link, just something that gives us the specs of the telescope, how many shots, maybe what Bortle sky you're at, focal length, focal ratio, all basic specs. How many of each filter if you used LRGB or narrowband. All that kind of stuff. Let's see. Eric, Dan, thanks for the constructive feedback on Wednesday. I have a much better picture today from Al.
Nice. Well,
So,
I'm glad we helped.
Good.
yeah, and I'm sure everybody here, we don't sit there and pixel peep these pictures because we just want to be pains in the whatever. we don't do that. It's not about that. It's about as a group making everybody better. And if we told everybody that your pictures are awesome, we're not doing you any favors.
Yeah.
We're not doing you any favors. You don't get any better until somebody kicks you in the head, right? So
Yeah, if you suck, we're going to tell you so.
Oh God! Now he chimes
first
in.
word out of Scott's
Now
mouth.
he chimes in.
He spoke. He spoke.
Actually
He
spoke.
spoke. It's Tommy.
Oh my God!
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh man!
Now I know
All
the world's
the time,
coming.
all
The
the
world is
moments.
coming to an end. The
He wasn't
pigs are flying. Hell's
when
freezing
Rumen was
over.
on. No questions, no nothing. But when we get, we get to this point. Oh, we're gonna tell you when it sucks.
Scott, I'm going to make a recommendation. You better drink about 3 pots of coffee before you come on the show.
Oh man! 5-hour energies, anyone?
That's the lies. Look at Ernie. It's a lie.
He's
Red
up
Bull.
now, man. He's ready to
Red
go.
Bull. I'm just saying.
He had his power nap. He's good to go, man.
Yeah, now the show can begin.
Oh God, that's funny.
Not for nothing. I did have an idea about the pitcher of the week.
Yes,
if we were to take and do something with the pitch, the pitcher of the week. If we took at the end of the month and did, maybe like a pitcher of the month, and all the way out, you have the pitcher of the year winner.
Yeah, keep going.
We could very easily the 12 months pitcher of the month once for each month, and the pitcher of the year winner on the cover.
Yeah.
For AstroWorld, do an
Yeah,
AstroWorld
absolutely.
calendar.
Yeah. So
Oh, yeah,
we'll
and AstroWorld,
yeah,
calendar
yeah,
would be cool.
Yeah, that would be
That
kind
would
of
be a
cool.
good idea.
That'd be kind of cool.
See what happens when you wake, Scott?
Well, I have I do have a tie-in with a pretty decent graphic designer. She's in the back room. So.
Oh yeah, that's right. There you go. So we can
There it
send you the
is.
pictures and make the calendar. Yeah, absolutely.
Make a calendar.
Do the
Exactly.
AstroWorld calendar. And,
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's a good idea.
I think that's a fantastic idea.
that is a good idea.
See,
Yeah,
it'd
you
be
really
like
are a funny guy.
you got the top. You got your top 4 of the month. Because 4 weeks out of the month. 4 weeks in a month, so you get the top 4. Then you come down to that monthly. Yeah, and then they get thrown in. For the yearly calendar. For the annual calendar.
Yeah.
And then maybe the winner you get maybe on the cover of the calendar. Or something.
Yeah. Yep. So that means
Absolutely.
we need 13 then. So
Well, no,
so
you're
you know what, Eric?
13.
Eric, how's
Your
this?
yearly-
Let's kind of flip on it. We got 4
Your
seasons.
yearly
We got
winner.
winter, spring, fall, and summer. So for the 4 months, we could say, okay, in the summertime, it's springtime's galaxy season, right?
Yeah,
Right.
Spring is Galaxy. Yeah.
And then we know in the summertime, it's definitely the Milky Way. It's the core. You're looking
Mhm.
into, Sagittarius. The
Yeah.
fall, I mean, we've got, there's so much that we can do, but I like the idea.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
do
guys, this doesn't, and I'm going to say this, and maybe this is just my idea. It doesn't necessarily just have to be DSO. Throw in planetary,
Yeah,
maybe
absolutely.
throw in Milky
Absolutely.
Way landscape, whatever. If it deals or if it's related to astronomy or astrophotography, rather, there's all different kinds of astrophotography. So throw it in there.
I'll just
Bring
show
out
you.
those SCTs. Bring out that 14-inch Schmidt and start. Let's grab some, some shots of Jupiter or what have you, whatever.
Yeah.
And when the calendar gets put together, just an idea, maybe, whatever, if it could be coordinated that each photograph, per month is a target that would be a good choice for imaging that month. Maybe give a little
Probably,
bit of
yeah. That may
information
not be a bad
on, like,
idea.
this is a good image. This is where you find, for somebody who's looking for, how to find it, some tips on how to image it well.
Yeah. No, I think that would be a great idea.
So I was April 2020 of the Amateur Observer Society 2020 calendar. So
it can happen to you. If it can happen, it can happen for you.
Because
you had $1 and a dream.
I didn't even have $1. It's like 2 nickels. but hey, listen, you know what? I think it's a great idea. It's on a serious note. I think it's a great idea.
Yeah.
I think that's definitely something. Now, the only thing that we're gonna have to think about is what are we gonna do about January, February?
Well, that's where the real astronomers come out.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we missed that for a what's it called?
Hey, the website wasn't up yet. Come on.
Who's that? Who's making fun?
The website wasn't up yet, so hey, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
All right.
So again, just if you want to get on to the giveaways, sign up for the newsletter. I'll get your email address here, and then I can put you in the wheel. So there'll be a couple of wheels out there because we're still going to be doing raffles, but for the giveaways, I mean, I got to tell you. So I didn't tell. This is something new for the entire membership and everybody right now. So for those of you that missed it, we had a really good week as far as sponsorships are concerned. Yeah. So Pete Prohl from Masters of Pix Insight gave me a call yesterday and said, "Oh, you guys are doing sponsorships?" Yeah. And so he is going to be giving us a lot of stuff as far as yearly memberships to IP for AP, discounts on all their classes, some free classes, some free hours of tutoring, all this kind of stuff. So it's going to be cool with that.
Well, I mean, come on. Honestly, the guys at IP for AP, Ron, and the boys, they love us.
And we love them too. So I mean, those guys are great. So I mean, they're
awesome.
Yeah, I mean, and
I mean, who doesn't love Ron Breacher? I mean, he's got the coolest hair in all astronomy.
The crazy Canadian,
and the best Friday shirts. So
exactly.
But yeah, so we're at 2:15 just about. What else we got? The only other thing that I have, first of all, I got to say thank you to Chris Frierskin. Chris Frierskin is our first Red Giant sponsor. So thank you, Chris, for supporting us. He joined the membership, and again, so he's going to be getting a nice embroidered shirt. I actually made the logo today, Chris. So it's going to be this logo, and the bottom it's going to say Red Giant member, and it's custom for those Red Giant members. If you're a main sequence member, you'll get just a monogrammed T-shirt, and if you're a protostar, you'll get a kind of like the Redbubble T-shirt. So thank you, Chris, so much.
Make sure you send me those files. Let me run it past the master.
So if you wanted to join the membership and show your support for AstroWorld, you can go right to the AstroWorld page, click join. Wrong one. Click join, and you can join the channel for whatever you want, $2.99, $4.99, or $9.99 a month. And depending on which one, you get all these perks. Then the perks are different for each level.
Is there an Allen wrench level?
What's up?
Is there an Allen wrench level?
Is there? I'm gonna make one just for you, Captain Portman. You know what you get?
That's Jerry Valdez first came up with that. That's good.
You're gonna get a set of Allen wrenches that are like busted.
Hey, make sure they're metric. Don't give them the imperials.
Don't give them imperials. Give them
you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna unscrew the hub, and I'm gonna make every alternating one is gonna be metric.
Oh my gosh.
But anyway, I think we've definitely gone off the rails again. You know, everybody, if you're interested in Indigo, please, contact Rumen, contact Indigo, go on the forum, check it out. If that's something that floats your boat. I just thought this would be something that would kind of expand our horizons, like I said before.
Absolutely.
And, show us some other options out there. We all use APT, SGP, Nina, whatever, and that's what we're kind of stuck. Or I'm sorry, don't forget the ASIR. That's what we're kind of, as far as the US is concerned, that's what is kind of used the most.
Yeah. But you see this kind of, Indigo and has that partnership with APT, which is kind of cool.
Yeah. Yeah. And you want to plop APT on there and still use Indigo as a server, you can.
Yeah.
So it's really, really cool. It's really intuitive. So I thank Rumen for coming on and hanging out with us to the wee hours of the morning over there.
Yes, absolutely. So really appreciate it.
So, all right, let's around the horn. Final thoughts. Wow! All right, there we go.
You know what? Another great show. Again, thank you to all the sponsors and subscribers. We really appreciate it. Go out, have a great weekend. Like I said, I'm hoping for some decent weather so I can actually do something with this telescope. Now that I have it.
now that you have the flattener spacing.
Yeah, now that I have it. So fingers crossed. So we'll see. But besides that, everybody just have a great weekend. It's been a great show. Great week.
Yep, absolutely.
Good, Eric. Once again, just a word out to all our memberships. Thank you, because if it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. And please, by all means, pass the word and spread the gospel. And what a better way to spend a Wednesday and a Friday night.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. Yeah, you get to hang out with us and watch me drink and Scott nap sometimes.
Scott nap.
One day, is that a 4K camera? I want to get the crop sensor on there. I want to catch some drool in the corner of the mouth.
Oh God,
Scott.
Yeah, it's just don't take your equipment for granted. Make sure that double and triple check everything if you're going out into the field. I'm still waiting on my ramp. As soon as I get that, I'm going to be setting that monster up and seeing if I can image. Of course, we were talking about this earlier. It'd be nice if, talking about not taking things for granted, that's right. My filter sliders, 36 millimeter, my filters, 36 millimeter, my gaskets for said 50 millimeter.
Oh
yeah.
Yep, that's what I say.
Yeah, well,
double check your equipment.
Yep.
Yeah. Double check your filters too. Make sure they're labeled right.
And make sure they're aimed in the right direction.
Oh yeah, shiny towards the stars, right?
Yep, shiny out.
But I had the problem with the filter that I had from Aunt Leah that was mislabeled.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't even read it, and I sold it. And the guy's like, "You sent me the wrong filter," and I was like, "No, I didn't." And sure enough, he took a picture. It was an HA with an S2 band on it, but that's being fixed. But Jesse.
Great show. I really enjoyed having Rumen on here talking about the Indigo. I'm kind of inspired to maybe come back around to that Raspberry Pi project that's been collecting dust for about a year and a half now. So, hopefully here in the next few months, maybe I can, kind of tell you guys a little bit about how that's working out for me from a totally not not programming kind of perspective. So I want to get that up and running. And I'd initially put in downloaded the Astroberry, but I'm thinking now I might want to just go with the AIM imager and just give that a try and see how that works. I mean, it looks like obviously it's made for it. So worst case scenario, I'll end up just downloading APT and PhD and just go with what I know. But really, I'm excited about that again. I'm really excited about it again. Like I said, the project kind of got pushed to the side, but now it's back in my front and foremost in my brain again. But great show. Love hanging out with you guys. Glad you're tuning in and watching us.
And Neef is still on. Neef is on. Come to Neef.
Neef is
Come
on.
to Neef.
Are all you guys going to be
Come
at
to
Neef?
Neef.
Are you all going to?
I don't know. I honestly don't know.
I'm putting in. I talked to my assistant principal the other day, and I might be able to take it as a professional development. Take a couple of days, like bracketing the weekend as a professional development. So I'm like,
You never know. You never
Where is
know.
it? I know that.
I'll see.
I know there was an ad in here somewhere, but there it is. There, Neef is on. It's on.
yeah.
The bummer is that you know what? The whole bummer is honestly, I would have really loved to have had a chance to go to NEAC.
Yeah, I know.
You know, that would be the big one for me, to actually sit down with some of the masters of processing and the software and, doing all that. But they maybe have some things going on during NEAF.
I'm sure they're going to be putting out some sort of schedule. Again, it's not going to be exactly the same. All the speakers that they originally said have confirmed that they're supposed to be there. There are some vendors that are going to be missed. I'm not sure exactly on who they are. We're waiting on a list to come out from NEAF themselves, but there are rumors that some people are not going to be coming, and I don't want to say that I don't want to speak for them. But I'll be there.
Yeah, you're working now, but
I'll be there. I'll be there. Charles Bracken is supposed to go, so if us two are there, so that's it. So
Nice.
Pete, you better go.
Yeah.
He's got farther to go than I do.
The question is, do I need to get vaccinated to get on the plane, or do I need just to wear the mask? I can wear the mask, but as I said, I don't, as you said, without knowing who's all going to be there, it's just a long way to head out there. So
I'm hoping that they put out some sort of press release soon on who actually confirmed. You know what I mean?
Yep.
But I'm still going to be there. I miss it. I'm going to go anyway, and I don't care. It's going to be fun.
Yep.
But hopefully this is the road back. That's it.
Yep. Hopefully.
Yep.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully, this is like you say, the road back. And then if NEAC's not happening this year, hopefully we're getting past all this stuff. So maybe next year, 2023, we're back to normal.
That would be nice.
Fingers crossed.
Guess it depends upon if Russia's going to invade us, though, right?
Yeah, no. Speaking of that, I'm about to get out of here and go get some gas.
Yeah. Somebody was talking about the $5 to $7 gas.
Yeah, until that $5 to $7 gallon hits. Yeah, I'm going to get some gas now.
Dude, it's fun. It's funny if you watch the stock market at all. You saw right after the invasion, Russia's stock market tanked. Ours went up. I don't understand that. Russia's stock market went from like 4,700 to 1,600 in 24 hours.
I don't get it, but hey, I'm not going there right now. I'm just going to go out and get some gas. I'm going to Sam's Club. I'm going to get the cheap, and I'm going to get some nice, good gas.
I hear you.
Cents off the gallon.
I don't blame you, not one bit. Actually, I just filled up yesterday. It was the first time it cost me over $40.
See, that's crazy.
Yeah,
you know what? See, I don't know what car you drive. See, I drive a truck, so $40 for me is like that's great.
I have an SUV, but I mean, it's not. It's a small one. It's a what do I got? A RAV4.
Okay, so
it's not a truck. It's not a truck. It's a recreational truck.
Yeah, you got a RAV4. I've got a Tundra, so
you got a bigger tank. My tank is tiny, man.
Yeah, there you go. But anyway,
yeah,
I digress.
We're talking about tanks.
Yeah, I know, right? Anyway,
and we just tanked the show. So,
right?
all right, guys, girls, people, Astro people. I don't even know what to say anymore.
Yeah, I know.
Well,
but, take us home, man.
All right, everybody. Have a good night, everybody. Again, just remember we got next. What is it? 2 weeks from now, we're gonna have Roland Archer over at Voyager Software. So that's gonna be really, really cool. Another program that really isn't super well known in the U.S. It's well known, but it's gonna be really cool. I've actually been playing around with it for the past couple of weeks, and it's pretty cool. Fill her up. No, everyone's talking about gas.
Yeah, everyone's talking about gas now.
So everybody,
we started.
Yeah. All right, Jim, AZ, Chris, thank you for being our first Red Giant member. Thank you so much. Enjoy the $8.50 a gallon gas, and everybody have a good night. And remember, as always, keep imaging, keep educating, and clear skies. And we'll see you Wednesday night. Have a good night, everybody.
Clear skies, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye for now.
Good night.
Bye bye. And good, great, yes. Next. Go ahead.